I hope traders and investors alike were green on Friday. We have a lot to go over, so we're just pretty much going to keep it moving here. Want to talk about the earnings this week. We started the new earnings season last Thursday. This week we have a lot going on with earnings, so we get a look at so many different companies. So this will give us an idea of just about what everybody's doing, like Tesla. So we got Tesla, Netflix in the tech sector, Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, banks. We got Johnson & Johnson, Big Pharma, Snap, Lockheed Martin, tech sector, AA, FCX, material sector. We seeing some semis in here. We're even seeing some like JP Hunt, SCX. We're seeing some transportation, Procter and Gamble from the and Hasbro, Philip Morris from the safety sector. So it just gives us an idea. We're even seeing some airlines, American Airlines, gives us an idea of what these companies are doing. We got American Express, Verizon, AT&T, just a big, huge week. Nucor. So let's keep an eye on what they're saying, what's in their guidance reports. Keep an eye on anybody who's coming out guiding down ahead of time. Just like we always do. As for our economic calendar, we have we have a bunch of Fed speakers speaking this week, which is nothing unusual. That's all opportunities. We have jobless claims. We also have options expiration this week. So, we know what we normally expect on options expiration week. So let's go to the charts. So I changed the charts up a little bit. I also added one breadth chart as promised. We're going to start easing some of the breadth and sediment in to help members understand it better. So the CPC, our put to call ratio that we like to watch, we're 91. That's actually neutral. I added, instead of having the price comparison of the SPX above, I added it behind so you can see the price action of what's been happening as the market's was shooting up. How the put to call was in the bullish zone, and as the market pulls back, you can see as the market was pulling back, the put to call ratio has moved up towards the bearish zone. We spent more time in the bearish zone this year than anywhere. We are in the neutral zone right now. Our oscillators for the NASDAQ, you can see here we are at a negative 76. That is neutral. New York Stock Exchange, we are at a negative 100. That too is just starting to get warm. I also added the SPX behind the indicators instead of above here as well. The SPX weekly chart, you can see we did close below that 200. That was the level we were watching last week on that. We did close below it. So tomorrow, as long as we don't gap up, we'll open up below the 200. This is the advanced decline lines for the New York Stock Exchange. And this is the SPX. As what I did here was you can see the actual line back here in gray. This is a moving average that I took just so we can get an idea of, to kind of smooth things out. And you can see the divergences right here. Like you can see, if you look back, we can see when we had this, we ended up pushing. We had a divergence here. We ended up pushing. We have a divergence right here as well. Will we push? That's the magic question. The US dollar, I took away some of the moving averages, and I also put the SPX behind this instead of above it, just so we can get a look at how they move with one another. You can see, pushing up, pulling back down there, a lot of chopping around with one another here. And, this year we've been pushing up as the market's been pulling back. The VIX, we are right here. We pushed right back up to this 35 area and we pull back. Still watching the cup and handle chart that's been posted in the Discord as well. But you can see we need to take this area out for the VIX to be able to push up. Everybody's still thinking, I'm still hearing a lot about how we need to see a 55 for the market to dump. We need to see a 55 for the market to dump. The market's giving some incredibly, incredibly mixed signals right now. The 15-minute VIX pulling back there. Crude, we had that nice push up, and we have been cooling back. To talk of OPEC cutting barrels, barrels per day. We'll see how the market handles that. We do have another petroleum report this week. This is the S&P 500 up here. This is this is the advanced decline lines for New York Stock Exchange, the SPX, and then we got the S&P mid caps and small caps down here, and you can see how small caps are still holding pretty flat. You can also see how the large caps are trending down with the market. Small caps still seem stronger. We'll talk more about that when we get to IWM. Apple, we had this huge undercut rally here, and we pushed up into the 9. We actually closed over the 9. The next day we pushed up, and this is a dark cloud cover. The candle opened up because we pushed up in pre-market. The candle opened up above the previous day's candle and then pulled back down. That's called a dark cloud cover. That's actually a very bearish candle. AMD, pretty much the same setup. Very ugly. Semis have been weak, and we will get a good look inside of semis this week with some of these names reporting. You can see AMD down here on the weekly chart. We are below resistance. A couple weeks ago, we talked about how AMD closed below that weekly 200. That's almost like a death sentence. Getting below your weekly 200 is almost like a death sentence. Affirm getting this rounded top here. Definitely one to watch. You can see the big pullback on Friday. AA, another one that has earnings this week, so I left it on the list. Pretty mild price action last week compared to some of these other charts. We did have big volume coming in us on Wednesday with that Russian news, how they're limiting Russia from buying aluminum. Just want to keep an eye on it with earnings coming up this week. AMR, this is an energy name. This is an energy solutions name, I do believe. Got this nice little tabletop here, respecting the 9. Still got a decent MACD, still showing some relative strength versus the market is showing a ton of relative strength compared to the market. Amazon, you can see the big downtrend. You can see the undercut right here. So basically it's called an undercut reversal rally. You see how we pull back. We'll talk more about that on the SPY chart. It was a little stronger move than that. Amazon weekly, big down candle. MACD's just getting started, bearish there. AMC, pretty flat Friday. AMD's 15-minute, pulling back. They have been really bearish on semis. It was one of my best calls this year. AMRC, this is a coal name, actually has a bear flag. So we have a head and shoulders pattern that I've been watching. We broke down out of it, bear flag back up. This looks like, watch your 200. If we can take this 200 out, look for some short side. The liquidity is not the greatest in that play for options. So, there we're looking for a trending type move. It's not a fast mover. It's not one that, it's easy to move in and out of with a large size. Amazon, we got the nice rally up. We gapped up the next morning and then got this big bearish engulfing candle. It's pretty bearish. Candles are pretty bearish right now. But like I say, we got divergences all over the market. Sometimes you can get those in a bear market, but we are set. We could possibly see a rally. It's going to have a lot to do. I don't mean an all new high or, back to new highs or anything like that, but it's going to have a lot to do with these earnings this week. You can see Apple here. This is more of the undercut move. You can see we were down, opened up, big undercut of the price, and then just a reverse and a rally back up. The next day we opened up, pushed up in pre-market, and that's what caused and that chart's at the beginning, that's what caused the dark cloud cover. Apple holding weekly support there. RK, we got this to break down out of this descending triangle. That strong day that we had Thursday did get us back above resistance, but then we got this big bearish engulfing candle. Boeing's still showing a lot of relative strength here. I like it above that 9 and 20 on the daily. Your MACD's trying to cross. I think that's one to keep an eye on. We also having, which could affect Boeing, we're having defense stocks, so we're going to get a look at the defense stocks this week, which Boeing counts as a defense stock. We're also getting a look at the airlines this week, which that could also affect Boeing. So we got Bitcoin's weekly here, still trading in this rounded top. Bitcoin's daily, you can see the rounded top very well, but like to see it get out of there. If you go back, you can see we're testing resistance here again, testing the dome. BJ's, we have a bear flag. This chart has showed a ton of relative strength. I've posted a couple of different times, but you almost have a bump and run strategy here. Bump, taking off, running, coming back. It lasted a little longer than what we were thinking, but it is breaking down now. Now we're below our major moving average, putting in a bear flag. Look for a move down. MACD is flattening out there. There's a lot of divergences in the RSIs as well. Boeing, you can see pretty flat for half of the day Thursday on out to Friday, but it did participate in that big market move. With the right mindset, there was a lot of money made there, but you just had to have the right mindset. This is Build-A-Bear. I just noticed this bottom ascending triangle. This is not one that I have traded it, not very much. 1 or 2 days it was hot, and I traded it, which had liquidity pouring into it, so it made it a little different. But just make sure it's got liquidity into it before you consider trading it, especially with options. You want to be able to, we have to be able to move in and out of these names. Just because a name has options doesn't mean it's a good name to trade with options. Trending type plays are a little different as well than, fast moving type plays. You can see charge point here. We've been watching this double top / head and shoulders pattern. We broke down, pretty much almost come back and retested the neckline of the 9's on its way down. I would watch this for a breakout of this range of this wick and this Friday's candle body. We also have the MACD bearish there turning down. Chewy, once again, big move up, heavy bearish engulfing candle there. Big pullback here on Chewy Friday. Also participated in that move. Look, it gave some really nice entries there. Perfect entries on the 15. XLP, same thing. Push up, big dark cloud cover. MACD is trying to turn bullish there though. Crowd, big bearish engulfing candle there as well. Chevron's got this little inverted head and shoulders, so let's not look down on energy yet. Energy and banks are definitely worth keeping an eye on. Banks, like 4 of the big 6 reported, 3 were okay. Citi wasn't that great, but still worth keeping an eye on the banks. You can see Chevron here, the big rally up on Thursday and giving it back on Friday. But after a big move like that, you can honestly expect a chopped inside bar or two. DraftKings, we have broken out of this channel. We were watching. We've come back for a retest. Perfect retest right there. That arrow should be pointing right there. MACD's bearish. See if we can break out of that candle range and move down. We're riding that Bollinger Band right now, so we're still in it. ExxonMobil, you can see the push up on Friday and giving it back. That's the 15-minute chart. First Solar, we broke below this 50, tried to push back up, The next day, Friday, we got a down day. As long as we remain below this 50 with this MACD dumping like that, I'm bearish on it. It is still showing a ton of relative strength. There probably will be easier names to short. Gamestop trading in this little descending triangle here. It's not exactly textbook. It's not perfectly level, but it's definitely bearish. Needs to break out of that pattern. As long as it's in that pattern, it's a no trade zone. Google, big pullback here. Harmony, just spotted this one going through charts. RSI strong, MACD's pension strong. Nice breakout of a flag here, back above all your major moving averages. To breakout on volume, definitely one to keep an eye on. I've never traded options on it, so this could be one that's better with shares. But, you know, that would have to be your personal decision. I'm not interested in trading options on it myself. The Qs, same thing. We had this huge bullish rally, then this dark cloud cover following. You can see it right here. This is the undercut, pullback, undercut, and reversal, rally with a dark cloud cover the next day. You can see the candles there in your intraday action. When you make a move like that, you can pretty much expect a chop day the next day normally. Qs, we talked last week about breaking below this resistance level, which is the 200s. No good down here, still in the Bollinger Bands. We did hold this weekly support level, so we did close at that weekly support level. Bonds very weak here. Look at the rally Thursday. You can see where it gave most of that rally back on Thursday. It did push up with the market on volume, but you can see how the bears come back in, took their candle back, gapped up Friday morning. Then bears come back in, took their candle back. IWM weekly, you got a bear flag there. IWM has still not put in the June lows, has come down, tested the June lows, has not come down and tested the June lows yet. And you can see that there with this red arrow. So that's a sign of strength versus the SPY and the Qs have come down, tested the June lows. You see IWM, the undercut reversal. You can see right there what's causing the dark cloud covers. Mara, I'm going to clean this chart off and start over. Not really sure. You know, we got a dark cloud cover here. Not really sure what Bitcoin's doing right now. It doesn't look super healthy. Just have to definitely play the action on the crypto names. Merck's been stronger lately. Got this nice gap up here outside of the Bollinger Bands. We need to get it back inside the Bollinger Bands. But Merck, Lilly hasn't or is not looking bad either. Meta weekly, you know, we were calling for all new lows with this, but I didn't mean for it to get beat up like this, to be honest. Broke out of this symmetrical triangle, which is just a bearish pennant here, and moved down. Bearish candle on Friday, bullish candle on Thursday, bearish candle on Friday. 15-minute chart. MU's been showing a ton of relative strength here. MACD still looks decent. We're showing a ton of relative strength. Got decent volume. The 50's in the way. You can see we keep pushing up here. If we do try to push, we've lost our 9 as well. But if we do try to push, the 50 is in the way. As of now, we got to get back above that 9. Microsoft, big pullback. Same thing. Big bullish rally, and then we have a dark cloud cover. This candle did not cut as deep. We normally like to see a deeper cut. Looking for a bearish reversal. I'm not really looking for anything. I am remaining neutral this week because I know what earnings are going to move this market. Microsoft, you can see the action on the 15-minute. Microsoft weekly. So we broke below the support a few weeks ago. We've come back, retested it, opened up. You can see we opened up basically a little above the, or a little below the previous week's candle and pulled down. We are holding a weekly support. MRO, nice push off the 9. Friday's candle brought us back below the 9. MACD changing character there. MU 15-minute chart, big move down on Friday. Fast move down. This is the NASDAQ. You can see the same candles there. Netflix has been holding on to this area very well. Showed a lot of strength in here while everything else is pulling back. It has pretty much been able to remain in this consolidation zone. We did break a little below it, but right back into it. It's a tight area there. There's room to make money though. Nvidia, very bearish as well. They just have not liked semis at all. You can see here we pushed right up into the 9. The 9 is a huge level. That's why I lean on it so much. Nvidia 15-minute chart. You can also see Nvidia's weekly chart. We're right into this channel, been trading in this channel, and we are right into it here. You can actually see that it acted as support and did pull off a little bit, pull back. Oxy, pretty flat on Friday. It trended down, but you get chewed up in price action like that. Oxy daily chart is trying to get back above the moving averages, still under the 9 there. MACD's changing character. Look at that MACD right there. So I don't know. Like I talk about the MACD and how powerful it is, and I just wanted to mention this. I don't know how many, there may be members out here that don't know this. So your MACD lines are based on your 12 and your 26 moving average, but your histogram is based on your 9. That's why you guys hear me talk about the histogram so much. Now, it's a very powerful tool. If you know how to use your MACD, it's very powerful. You can see we got a huge bearish engulfing here on Palantir, and look, we pushed right up into moving averages and pulled back. MACD's rolling there, wants to turn bearish. Peloton, huge bearish engulfing candle there. Just ugly. MACD wants to roll over. Some ugly price action there. Plug, we have broken below this level of support, which is now resistance, and 9's on its way down. Rivian, we had this cut we were watching, so now this is pretty much a double top, and we have broken down from a double top. We have confirmed with a very bearish candle, we have confirmed below that neckline. But once again, just like that big move that we had up, some of these names with a big move down, we could be chopping around for a day or two. We could see some consolidation for a day or two. Let's not forget we have options expiration this week. Roblox, just pretty much chopping here, getting back below our support level. For me, this needs to take out this candle line. You can see that range right there. We need to open up below that range or get below that range. I prefer to see it just open up below that range and clear it. The SPX daily, you can see we pushed up, testing the 20 and got right back down. Heavy dark cloud cover there. CRM, moving average has gotten away. CRM 15-minute chart, you can see Friday you could have made money, but it was pretty tight. Snow, double top here, and we've broken below the neckline, putting in a flag right here, looking for a breakout of that candle range and for a move one way or the other. SoFi, huge move down Friday, some pretty ugly price action there. You can see the bearish engulfing. SPY weekly chart, you can see we've talked about that 200, and we actually took that out one day and recovered back above it, testing the support level. Or I'm sorry, not testing. We still closed below this support slash, which is resistance now level, at 367.67, big level. So we had this huge move on Thursday on the market, and I know a lot of people wanted to go bearish, so let's talk about it a little bit. We had 6 down days, and then we opened up with bad numbers, and we pulled down like $10. So everybody's seen that big move down after, the 6 down days, and then a big move down. So everybody come in and bought that dip up. That's why we got such a bullish move there. But we pushed right up into the 9. You can see we got stalled out at the 9. We actually closed right at it. We did push in pre-market, so that's what put us up to the 20. But you can see your 9 and 20 are powerful levels, and we ended up pulling back down. So that move's called an undercut reversal rally. You can see SPY here, 15-minute chart, and you can see the undercut reversal rally, and you can see the reason why we have such a big dark cloud cover. We pushed up in pre-market, opened up, and pulled back. This is our trend chart with the daily time frame. You can see all 3 trends, short-term, long-term, and medium-term is bearish. Square, big down candle. You can see we were trading right here in this tight range. Even with Thursday's action, we couldn't take that range out like we did in a lot of stocks. To me, that's a sign of weakness. Friday opening up and testing the 9 and 20 and getting ripped down from it. XLK. One thing about XLK and even the Qs, the semis are a big part of it. With them being so bearish, it's hard. Well, Apple and Amazon are like 40%, around 40%. Don't quote me there. Around 40% of the XLK's holdings, but semis are a big part as well. And as bearish as semis are, it's really hard on XLK. That little head and shoulders pattern's really been printing here. Tesla, it wants to get below this weekly support level bad. With earnings coming up this week, could be a really big deal. Say if we, for some reason, Mr. Musk comes out and announces a blowout earnings after this major move down out of this triple top, this thing could make a huge move. I obviously don't know what it's going to be, but they always beat. We've been expecting some change there because of some issues they've been having. But if they come out and beat again, this thing could make a huge move. No gambling. Play the action. Don't be like, oh, well, we may, make a big move. Let me buy some calls. That's gambling. Play technicals on it and get in there and make the money. Either way it wants to go. Tesla 15-minute chart, pretty much the same action. We're looking at throughout the whole market. Twitter still trading in this tight action here. I could redraw those lines and get another pennant out of it. Uber, we've gapped down. So we got this gap resistance now. If we gap down, you can see we pushed back up and tested it on Friday and pulled back. MACD's bearish there. Keep in mind we get some transportation earnings this week as well. Trucking company and CSX. UNG, pretty much the same action. Big move up Thursday, move down on Friday, followed the market. You can see UNG trading in this little descending triangle there, though. MACD is trying to change character. Upstart, this rounded bottom, tried to push up and got snatched back down Friday. Upstart is pretty much the same action on all these charts. Wells Fargo, this is Wells Fargo's weekly. In the weekly chart, you can see higher lows here. So, that's also a good sign. And it's a big part of the reason why the IWM is performing like it is, because the banks are a huge part of the IWM. They are the SPY as well, but they are bigger on the IWM. You can see Wells Fargo, instead of pulling back Friday, a lot of the banks tried to push. Like I say, 4 of the major 6 reported. 3 of them weren't bad. Citibank was like, XLK. I look at Friday's candle, is nowhere near as bearish as a lot of the other ones that we've seen. You can also see Thursday's candle, even though still a bullish engulfing, still stronger than a lot of the other assets that we've seen. ExxonMobil trading in this little flag here, and AMC. So we've been watching this head and shoulders pattern. We broke out of that, put in this little base down here, broke out of that range, moved down. Thursday's candle pushed us back up above our support level. Well, that push from Thursday into after hours into Friday's pre-market pushed us up above our support level or resistance level, but we couldn't hold it. We closed back below that level. And that's the end of our charts for today. I hope you can find this helpful. I'll see you guys in the trading room. Let's make some money.